Hello, my name is Chamchi Gimbap, and I am the political fish. And I want to talk to you about the earthquake we've just felt in the Left Forum. What with Captain Swiss on his channel, we had a major debate, a 3-hour debate between Mantle, a known right winger, and a good friend of mine known as Old School Anarchist, who you've seen on my channel before. And what we're going to do right now is we're just literally just coming off that stream. So we're just going to do a wind down for the next, 20, 30 minutes and just kind of ease our way back into civilization. Old School, can you introduce yourself again and tell me what your first thoughts are coming out of the stream?
Yeah, I'm Old School. We're just coming out of that stream. Basically, I'm just an anarchist, doing a bit of social commentary, putting my feet into the YouTubes, into the internet sphere. Yeah, and that was good, man. Thanks to Captain Swiss for hosting us, man. I mean, it's long, and he played quite an impartial guy. Yeah, it was good. It was enlightening. I did think that it was going to be a bit more. I did have an assumption that he was a bit further right than he was.
Yeah.
That's my initial sort of account. And
I definitely agree with that. He was definitely, he seemed more centrist. Center right than like I think when the gauntlet was down, he was like, okay, well, what is my actual position? And then when he was actually asked to define it, then it ended up being more center right than actually far right, despite the rhetoric they had online.
But I think we touched a lot of bases, and we've played with a lot of ideas. And we did have good back and forth, but I do think overall, if you wanted to make these things out as a competition, and he was quite keen on competition in that stream. I do think I came out on top, to be honest. Like it's, it's hard to tell with these kind of things because obviously I don't know if he's going to change his mind. But I feel like I had more to say. Do you know what I mean? Feel free
when he made any major point, right, about any of his politics, right, whether it be about capitalism or freedom of speech or whatever, you literally, like I said to you before, right, you literally fucking nailed him to the wall on that, and I was so proud of you. And like if you look at the comments, like I've been sitting there sending you Facebook comics, I was like, you're so good, you're so good, I want your children, I can we just get married like tomorrow? Honestly,
I'm looking up.
Really good. And what I would say, while I blow more smoke up your ass, is that it didn't matter what he threw at you. You were very cool, and you'll say, well, yes, but you're wrong because A, B, and C, and this has been proved because of D, E, and F. Okay, historically, you can say like H, I, and J, and you can see if we go forward in the future, K, L, and M. So this is. And that's what I really loved it. You didn't get annoyed because there were some stupid fucking arguments he was throwing at some points, and he was quite deadpan about the whole thing, and fucking but it was good. It was good.
It was, man. And I like these kind of things. And I said to him afterwards, back in when you end up in the lobby, and I was like, thanks, man. I know we don't agree on much, but I found this sort of just the idea of debate, and especially with somebody who really disagrees with you, it not only, I do hope that I'm planting seeds maybe in Mantle's mind or even in the minds of some of the audience. I know we've got quite a left-wing audience anyway, so I don't need to convince most of our audience, but just in general, I mean, these videos are open to anybody at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely.
So there is that aspect of it, but then there's another aspect that it really helps me to not reaffirm, because I'm not looking to be like, I'm not looking for confirmation bias, but I am looking for to be challenged to the point where I have to, you know, confirm my own opinions. And if I can do that well, then it shows that I've got, you know, a sound understanding of why I believe things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Cool. Yeah.
Honestly, mate, you did really well. You blew my mind actually in places. I thought your references were on point. I thought your evidence was on point, and his evidence at times was lackluster. You know?
Yeah,
I mean, trying like you know, I'll sit here and be your cheerleader all fucking day, but you know, even objectively speaking, when he tried to make a point, you're like, you know, sources. The sources that he had were a little bit lackluster, a little bit.
Yeah,
but you know,
there was that point when I had Swiss scrolling through that document, and I just stayed quiet for a couple of minutes because I was like, "Who, this is not working well in your favor." But I'll let you continue.
Yeah, I know. Like you could, like all the time it took, you could see the hole getting deeper and deeper and deeper. But no, I wanted to do this stream just for you to wind down and relax, because when you come out of a stream like that, you get quite riled up, don't you?
Oh man, yeah. No, it's good to do that. It's kind of like you know, you have a fucking sports game, and then afterwards you talk to the players, you know.
Yeah, just a reflection on it.
Oh, Manuel's here. Look. Manuel's here.
I think you did well.
Should we invite Manuel on out of courtesy, considering we're talking?
Yeah. I feel kind of rude not to. Mantle, could you post your Twitter handle or something in the chat so I can send you an invite, please, mate? So you can talk and reflect on it. No. We want you to. We want you. If you
just want to say, Mantle, how you felt about it in the side chat, and we can just so that you're listening, because I don't like, you know, we've just been talking, and now it'd be kind of like we're talking about you behind your back. So
yeah, exactly. It feels rude if we don't invite you.
It's nice that you're here to listen, and if you want to put some comments in there on how it went, please feel free, man. Because you know,
how can I find you on Twitter, and I'll send you a message. You know, and if you want to join, it's up to you, mate. You know, if you want to join, let me just pull up my my Twitter. Fucking Twitter, mate. It's gonna be. I swear this is gonna be the bane of my life, mate.
Yeah, I call it Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah, no shit, man. Why? What the fuck? Okay, all right. I don't have Twitter. Do you have Facebook? Yeah. Do you have Mantle on Facebook?
I don't know.
Yes, I do. Look for Chamchi Gimbap, the political fish. Chamchi space Gimbap, the political fish. That's my page. And you should be able to find me on there. Send me a message there, and I'll send you a link. But yeah, veganism or barbarism, says the Body Gang. You did well.
Thanks, man.
Cameron Hickman, I would prefer to see Luke Wardner debate Tyson. No, that would just be a fucking shitstorm. Who would want to see that? It would be a shitstorm.
Maybe a mini series or something. Maybe not a 3-hour stretch, but let them go at it for 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, it'll be a shitstorm. Like, I was like involved in the debate with Stizer last night, and that was fucking messy. But anyway.
Yeah.
Jack James at Mantle, you said we need a bit more socialism in the debate. I agree. Me too, Jack James. JJ, yeah, a bit more socialism. In fact, not a bit more. Let's have a fucking shit ton more.
Yeah.
Let's have, you know, a bit more of people caring about each other, you know. Fucking hell, yeah.
No, and I think that's I think at the end of it, we kind of came down to a lot of it comes down to the nature versus nurture debate, or you know, and or environmental determinism in a sense, and all these kind of ideas, which I can understand because these are still ideas that are being talked about in scientific circles, you know, way above you know, random political commentators that they're doing on a hobby on YouTube. But I do think that a lot of the evidence points towards supporting that humans and their environment are so sort of they're so integral in what's the word I'm looking for there, Cham? They, you know, the environment and in a being in its environment.
Yeah.
They have a symbiosis. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So they work together in unison.
Yeah. And I think a lot of science is pointing to the direction that like they work.
Should I just put the link? I don't want. Should I just put the link in the fucking chat? I know it's dangerous.
I mean, you can do. We can put it in the chat, and then if anybody is,
I can just kick them, can't I? So
yeah. I mean, it might be funny to see if anybody wants to jump on and give their thoughts on the you know.
Yeah, sure.
What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. Well. All right. Try the Hangout. Hi, Mental.
There we go. Yeah. Your Facebook page was just came up as unresponsive, or this page doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's just because you know I've got fish basically running my Facebook feed. You know, if you get like fish as admins, and what are you gonna do? You know, you get fucking unresponsive shit. So anyway, so Mantle, how are you feeling? Like post.
Yeah, I'm feeling fine. Yeah.
Honestly, we were actually, before you jumped in the chat, we were actually saying that you were not as right wing as we thought you would be originally. So
you did say a couple of times. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I said a couple of times.
Oh shit!
What's going on?
What do you say?
Go on, Mantle. Just speak, please. Someone speak.
Well, I'll say, I think old school. You had it for me that I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, or got a lot of my I don't know. Yeah, I think you would have. Maybe it was because some of the comments I say in the side chat can be. Maybe I don't know. I
definitely had a different impression of you going in. I will give you that. Yeah, okay. And I suppose it's hard to get across, in the YouTube side chat, what your nuances and the feelings and the reasons why you believe such things.
Especially a 200-word limit.
No. So I do apologize for assuming, but some of the things you did say in the chat, and I've been alluding to that kind of politics before, and So, but yeah,
were you thinking I was alt-right? Is that it?
It's something along that vein, maybe. Yeah.
I would agree with old school on that. Like, there was kind of this purveying opinion that you were kind of on the verge of alt right. How would you comment on that kind of?
I mean, I don't call myself alt right. I don't, identify as alt right. I mean, I guess you could say some of the things that I said about Muslim population, being higher than the ethnic British one. I guess you could say that's alt right-ish, but I definitely don't identify as alt right in any way whatsoever. So I don't know. But I guess I could say I have some kind of or alt-right-y, but I don't know.
What I would like to say is thank you to the both of you to come down to the wind down on my channel. And the one thing that I will not have, speaking to the both of you now, I will not have a rehash of any of the arguments that you had today.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah, that's fair.
Is that fair? Okay.
This is
I will say though that Old School blatantly won. But maybe that's just my bias showing. Manton, no, I'm just taking a piss, mate. I really am. No, I think it shows the fact that he actually went on for so long. It shows how well exactly what a great fucking debate it actually was. And I learned.
To be honest, if it's
like kudos to you, like Mantle. I learned so much from that, from yourself and your position, especially from that. Well, you say what I would position as, you know, center right kind of ideological kind of point of view that I didn't even realize, and I did learn a lot. And I suppose that's the whole point of these conversations, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if Swiss hadn't have, said, that's it, that's the final one, we probably could have been talking for quite a while longer. I mean, it's there's a lot to speak about.
Yeah, no, it was really good. We covered a lot of ground, and like I say, I think that's what the most important part is, because as much as I do agree with a much more sort of, a much more direct approach in terms of political practice, I do think it's debate and discussion should always be in the forefront of how we figure out what's best. You know what I mean? So by doing these kind of things, we are helping sort of bring the discourse. We're helping ease out the sort of the misunderstandings between each other, and maybe eventually what we can do to what kind of common ground we can meet at to maybe move forward. Like I'm not exactly trying to say that even if the most fucking anti-capitalist yet still a racist fash cunt, I wouldn't work with that person. But I'm not saying Champchi is that, but there's degrees to where we can come to a compromise, I reckon.
I'll totally. And what I really loved about it is you really got both of you got head to head, and you tried to really nail it down to, okay, so we know we disagree on this issue, but exactly what part of this issue is that we disagree on? And I think that's why it took so long. It's because you're not going to argue with each other, but you're having a discussion. Okay, so okay, I agree with you on that, but I disagree on that little bit, and then okay, let's get a little bit closer, and then you on every issue, you guys really kind of fucking nailed it down to the little bit. And I really wish politics was actually done like this on a national or international scale. Fucking honestly, like there'd be no wars. There'd be
well, this is the thing. This is why when we during part of the stream, I was talking about conflict resolution being a big part of every political ideology, and it's just how that is dealt with, what changes. These kind of discussions would be a big part of how I envision an anarchist society might happen.
Yes, but what I said to you earlier is that we're not going to start that again.
Oh no!
I do agree with you, and I think we can all agree. Yes,
it's all right. I won't take the blame.
Okay, nice one. Thank you, Mantle. Thank you. But yeah,
just the nature of what we're doing on YouTube is like what I would like a society to be like, if you see my reasoning.
Well, isn't this why we do it?
Yeah, I like to.
Isn't this the point that you're here? Isn't this the point that Mantle's here now?
Yeah.
Isn't this the whole point of it? Is so we can actually discuss it in an open forum,
I'll tell you one of the reasons why I moved my conversations online. It's actually at my university that we have a debating club, but and this could be the same of whatever political ideology you have. They just will not accept any different thoughts. They just
well, then it's not
basically
a debating club, then is it?
Yeah, exactly. They're just debating over semantics. It's like, okay, we all agree in this position, but take little bits out of it, and if anyone disagrees, then it's like, well, they literally said to some guy, not me, but they said to some guy, I think your views are incompatible with the debating club.
What?
I know, right?
Isn't that an oxymoron?
It's bloody ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
no, that is an oxymoron. Your views
I know, right?
That's got to be, surely.
Yeah, it definitely is. And
I don't see how that works. How your views are incompatible with the debating club. No, I still can't work out. Sorry, no, I don't understand. Can you translate it into English for me?
well, I'm just trying to say
there might have been context. You know what I mean? I don't know. They might have been debating a certain topic, and somebody comes in and starts talking about fucking unicorns. You know what I mean? Who knows?
All right. So Mantle, you're actually like full on practice debater, right? And you're a part.
Not at all. Not at all. No, okay. I mean, I've gone to the debate club like 3 times with my mates, and we just kind of sat there and listened. And we're like, okay, they're not going to take any opposing views here, so we just didn't go. But no, I haven't really. It's probably the first time I've actually had a debate with anyone properly.
Well, this what I would like to say is, if you actually listen to it, like from someone from the outside, if you listen to it, it was what I would determine a proper debate, because you both learned something from each other, right? Would that be acceptable?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and you're both willing to concede certain objectives on both sides. Would you agree with that as well? On both sides?
In a roundabout way, yeah, I suppose.
Okay, so in my eyes, that's what I say is a debate. The problem is when you have youngsters in a university, they think a debate is literally just shouting down each other. It's not a debate; it's an argument, right? And if you're in an argument, it's just who shouts down for the longest.
Who shouts the loudest?
Loudest, yeah, and that's
more about.
Can I ask? Is there a delay in my voice?
No, not at all.
I think that.
Can you turn down if you've got the Google Stream up? Can you turn the volume down on that, and that might sort it out.
Okay. Let me see.
Because that one might be where the echo's coming from.
Should. Oh, is there an echo?
No, we don't feel it. But if you're feeling it, then it's probably from.
No, I just said because you guys are reacting to what I'm saying a little bit after I've said it. That's all.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I think it must be gone. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It might be because I'm stoned.
But yeah, it was honestly like the level of information and stuff you guys like spouted out, I thought was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It was top shelf stuff, man. Kudos to both of you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
No, I do appreciate that, because it's like we do have, at least from my perspective, like if you're even interested slightly in politics, or even because I think politics kind of prevails a lot of life anyway. You can't really be outside of it, so we've kind of got a responsibility to fight for ideas and talk about ideas that we think are going to be better for society. And this is part of it, man. It's always going to change. Things are always going to move, and it's just which direction we want to go down. My favorite analogy is like a boat. Imagine a boat on a water. With sails and stuff. You can't really
have sails. Can it have a flag as well? Can we
Yeah,
have
you can have
look?
a flag. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have a flag and it can have
Is
sails.
this a big boat or a small boat?
Any kind of boat, really. But
Are we allowed pets on this boat? Like,
Yeah,
or is
man.
it-
Yeah, pets.
Oh, sweet.
You were just absolutely ruining.
No, it's all right.
Sorry.
It's fine. Right. So, really, when you
Yeah.
are sailing a boat, you're not really in control of the
With our
boat.
pets and our flag. Don't forget that.
Yeah. With the flags and the pets, you're still not in control of the boat, are you? You're just adjusting the sail and the rudder to move with the waves or move with the
wind.
flow of the wind, yeah?
Mm.
So you're never directly in control of the boat. That's how I kind of see society in a way, that we don't really have any you can do in to a certain sense, but you see the analogy I'm trying to make. All we can do is try to shift the sail a little bit in the right direction,
But the boat will obviously shifted due to outside influences.
Yeah,
from other
exactly.
people,
Yeah, and
or
all we have to
just
do.
the general culture.
No, I agree, but that's what I'm saying. As the human race, we have the responsibility to move the sail. We're all on the boat together, and we're some people are pushing the sail one way, other people are pushing the sail the other way. But at the end of the day, we all have a responsibility to push the sail, and I think it's important. And I think it's part of what we're doing now, to be doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, Mantle, right? I know you can find me on Facebook, but maybe I can try and find you, right? Because I really want to do the Q&A. Like everybody that comes on my channel has to do the Q&A at some point, right?
Okay.
After when Old School's finished, when we're finished with all this stuff, if you're not busy after, I would like to do the Q&A, if that's possible.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I've got time.
Sweet.
In the chat, they've been saying, Jack James says, I have to say your conversation was probably one of the best I've seen, and that includes a lot of big YouTubers debating, which is
wow,
nice.
Wow, that's some big fucking accolades, man. Yeah.
Too often modern debate descends into point scoring. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's what we were talking about earlier, just a minute ago. Yeah.
Shafted said, I don't think they're looking at the chat. Well, I'm doing that now, mate. Cameron.
I've tried to come back and look at the chat.
Says, nope. Yeah. Well, we are now, Cameron. It's all right. Eyes on.
Love you, Cameron.
What's going on? Give us some thoughts, chat. We're looking now. We're watching.
Yeah. Come on. Give us some
saying, bro.
If Cameron, if you want a link, I'll link you up, man. Like, just look up further in the chat, and you can go and join us if you've got something you want to say. Right? I love Cameron. Yeah. He's such a nice guy. Such a
got something to say, chat. Come fucking say it. We've put the link. We've got you the link to this fucking hangouts there.
No. It was. You could literally put it in front of people's faces in the university and say, look, if you want to, like, these are two people. No, dude. Honestly, these are two people that have very discriminate kind of points of view, but let's see how they discuss them, right? Just on that exercise,
is valid.
Is a valid reason. I mean, I was watching earlier. I'm a teacher, right? So I mean, this kind of stuff really kind of, I like analyzing this kind of stuff. I was watching Akala teach Shakespeare earlier on YouTube, and I fucking love Akala. I think he's brilliant, right? He is a genius. Watching Akala teach Shakespeare to 15-year-olds was absolutely, it blew my mind. As an English teacher, I thought it was brilliant. And seeing you two discuss issues which are really, really relevant, but you go at it at completely different angles. I and the way you negotiated that, I thought it was great. I wish the people negotiating fucking Brexit would at least have this fucking sense, Yeah, you look at fucking David Davis, right? He's a fucking idiot compared to you two.
I actually never asked. I never asked.
Go on.
I don't want to start a debate over this. I
Yeah.
just wanted to know, just for context sake. Old school, are you Brexit or Remainer?
I actually fucking abstained.
Okay, fair
but
enough.
at the time, I really didn't like the Leave campaign because it was fueled by Brexit. Yeah. And a lot of it was to do with anti-immigration type rhetoric.
Hatred,
And
hatred and fear.
I do believe in things like the free movement of people and the universal like human rights and the workers' rights that we get from the EU. However, I completely disagree with the EU as like an institution. It's a trade agreement between capitalist economies at the end of the day. So
Yeah, but it's also and it's very hierarchical.
yeah, big time. Yeah, it's corrupt as fuck, and it's as much as this is the thing. Me and Swiss have arguments because he's like obviously he's a really adamant Brexiter, but on the basis of the EU being a horribly corrupt institution, and the democracy that they try and promote through the EU is a sham. And I levy the exact same arguments back at him about Westminster and that kind of thing. And this is something we have back and forth because he really likes, parliamentary debate and all that kind of stuff. But I would say the same thing about, the Tories, for example, and our Westminster establishment. So it's neither the fucking, it's, and
I
now,
wasn't wanting to start another debate about it, but
it's
just saying,
right. Not debating. We're just talking about our ideas at this point.
It's because I can imagine you've got it from both sides, really. Because I understand because you're an anarchist, you wouldn't like the EU institution as a whole, but then it is anti-Brexit or Brexit. Sorry, is very. It's got a right-wing tint, I guess you could say.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'd agree with that. From. I don't want to take words out of Old School's mouth, but it did. I mean, I think that's just down to the way that they actually pushed Brexit. It did have a right wing team.
Yeah, it did, and this is what I'm saying because there's also a lot of things, like I said, about the EU that I think as it stood, we were benefiting from. Do you know what I mean? So. But then from the flip side, I'm kind of glad that it's shaken the boat a little bit. Like politics in general, it's kind of Brexit kind of really shaking the boat, and what's going to happen afterwards is very, it's interesting.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah,
I do. I think if people are talking about a second referendum and all that shit, and I think if you want to talk about democracy, then that's probably a good idea because people still seem very much divided and on like how it's going to go down. So I think we should have a second.
Okay. Well. Old School, that's where I would disagree with you.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was very much a Remainer for exactly the same reasons. I understood there was a democratic deficit with regards to Europe, but I also saw the same deficit when it came to Westminster, right? I saw how Europe basically fucked over the democracy in Greece in 2015, and that really did my head in.
Well, they've done it in lots of places. They did it in Ireland not too long ago.
As an example, I'm pulling that one out. But I voted Remain just because. Of the Court of Human Rights and I just didn't want the Tories to have free reign over our human rights, and that's what scared the shit out of me. That's what really.
Okay.
And now we have it, and then so now what I really want is just to get fucking on with it, and I really want the Tories, because the Tories are literally a sinking boat, right? Which is kind of nice to watch in a statistic kind of way. They are in a sinking boat, and it's kind of Marx's idea of acceleratism, except like the idea of accelerating. Yeah, you know,
voting Trump in the hopes that it's going to make people rise up against him.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's it's the Marx's idea of, you know, accelerating things that are going to be bad just because when you come out the outside, you'll be much better. So if we hadn't voted to leave, would Jeremy Corbyn and our you know, socialist ideals, or you know, our left wing ideals, would they be as strong as they are now? I'm not so sure.
I still think they would. I don't know if there's too much to do with Brexit and the rise of, you know, Jeremy Corbyn and that sort of the left. I don't know if there's. I think the rise of Jeremy Corbyn could be more due to austerity.
Yeah. Again, I would agree with that analysis. Yeah.
It's just there's always a response in it. It's like cause and effect. There's always a push and a pushback, and you can see that in terms of politics with when, you know, like I mentioned during the debate that you know, time when the economy is doing bad and when there's like social tension and stuff, at least, you know, the two sides of the political spectrum, both of them, their groups and what have you, will galvanize and will rise up. And at that point, then it's like, you know, both sides are trying to change society in a way that suits them.
Well, it's because people put their support behind them because they want change. They don't really know what, it doesn't matter what change is, they just want change from the current system. That's usually why.
Well, that's a lot of the reason why people flock to the right and like try to blame minorities and stuff for their problems, when people on the left are like, well, wait a minute, no, the problem is way bigger. It's like way more like you know, it's got much more nuance and there's way more factors involved. And
I mean, I think it could be said about both sides, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mantle, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Like, do you really have a bee in your bonnet about the left? Like honest lefties, like me and like.
Sorry, what did you say? A bee?
A bee in your bonnet.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what a bee in your bonnet means? Oh, okay. No, you really have like an itch in your crotch about, you know,
a chip on your shoulder.
A chip on.
Oh, that's okay. You should have opened with that. I was like, what is that? No, I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I mean, I used to be a lot more. Yeah, I mean, I used to be a lot more to the left a couple of years ago. I mean, I know people who are pretty far left. I know a guy who's an out and out communist. He's one of my closest friends. I don't have too much hate towards any political group, to be honest.
Apart from,
you should do against the fascists.
Yeah,
but I don't know that many fascists. What I mean is.
Sorry. It's
alright.
Right. I had to fucking say that.
It's alright, yeah. I mean, I don't know that many fascists, to be honest. I've never met one, but I've met a lot of communists, and I mean, I don't know.
Fair enough. Again, more questions. How old are you? What do you do? Where are you from? That kind of stuff.
Was it the third degree?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. I'm 22. I'm at university.
Oh, what do you study?
I don't know if I want to say, because I don't want to give too much information about myself. There's nothing.
You get dogs.
Yeah, like, only give as much information as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 22. I'm at university. That's, yeah. I mean, that's basically it.
Well, you can tell me what you study, though, surely.
I study a form of science. I'll go that far.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, my background is in science, not the humanities.
Okay, cool. That's science and humanities.
No. I said my background is in science, not the humanities.
Ah, right. Okay, that's where I missed it. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Cool. Nice.
What about you?
I'm an English teacher, but by trade I'm a photographer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, as you know, I live in South Korea, and I'm an incredibly lazy bastard.
Are we all?
No. I take laziness to a whole new level, mate. A whole new level. Me and old school. We're talking about this earlier. Like I literally, like if I don't get my 12 hours kit, you know, it's I can't remember the last time I got up in the morning. It's weird. I earn a full-time wage for a part-time job. You know?
Nice.
Living the fucking dream, mate.
Exactly. I mean, I had about 3 hours sleep last night because I was out. Because everyone's going. Everyone's going home for Easter holidays, so went out for a night out. Came back about I think 4 o'clock. When I woke up this morning, I was so bloody tired. I was like, oh shit, I've got to do that thing. I was like, oh. But no, I ended up being fine when I got to it.
I think Swiss had the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but he was only sitting there, interjecting every so often. So I mean, it's not too bad.
Well, like he did do a stream with me like an hour before. So
yeah, he did.
It warmed him up a little bit,
Yeah.
So, by the way, old school.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good, and you should have been there.
I'm sorry, mate. I felt
it was really good fun. It was really good fun.
But it was. I will definitely join the next one, mate. It was just bad timing on my behalf and bad planning. I did kind of drop it on you, but it was. No, but I should have said this morning, mate. I should have been like,
really funny. It's really.
I will, mate. I will. Yeah, but no, I've had a good time today. It's
old school. Are you a student?
I am. Yeah.
I mean, do you want to say what you study, or are you?
I think I talked about it briefly. I study video game design.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all right. But that's about it. Yeah. I mean, it's quite annoying because I mean, you said your age, and I'm 26, but I started uni like when I was maybe like 22 or something. So I came a bit later than most people, so it's a bit strange. But
that's fine. I mean, I know a lot of people who do my course who are like 25, starting off. It's not that unusual, to be honest.
Yeah, like I said to you, I didn't start my fucking degree.
I think it's just the people on my course, man. Like the team that I work with, they're all quite they're a lot younger than me. So
my biology teacher went to university 3 times before he settled down on doing biology.
Yeah.
Well, there was always more time.
That'd be all right, man. But how much student debt would you be in then?
Yeah, to be honest, it was free when he went, so it was a little different.
Well, exactly, man. I'd stay in university fucking the rest of my life if it was free. It's all right. Getting fucking
expanding your mind and stuff. I mean, you essentially become an academic. I mean, that's the way. And
that sounds all right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know, and people say it's lazy. Well, no, you're not being lazy because you're expanding your mind, and you'd probably give lectures and stuff, and being an academic would be cool. I mean, I remember when being an academic was actually, something you could do as a life, but Tories have ripped that away from us. You've got to go out there and earn a wage. Doing what? Well, I don't know. Drive for Uber. Yeah, but Uber are not having any drivers anymore. Well, you should retrain. I want to go to university then to retrain. Well, it's going to cost you £10,000 a year. Fuck.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Well, it makes some people a lot of money.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
I suppose it makes sense in that regard.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of tuition, there is an argument though for having them. I don't agree with it, but I think a lot of people who for tuition say, there's many people who just don't go to university, so why should they have to pay for other people's education in that way?
Well, because I would say that universities and education is it benefits the society as a whole to have educated citizens.
Indeed.
So
yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. Just wondered what you thought of it.
Yeah.
You're asking left wingers what they think of education. Really? What answer did you think we were going to get? Because we're slackers and we just want to fucking, like, you know, just
sit on YouTube and smoke weed.
Mooch off the state for the next 4 years. You know? Oh, I mean, honestly, like, here's the thing, right? When you look at these people that are, you know, voting in these increasingly more expensive tuition fees, these guys, they never got charged for their university at all. It was all on the
yeah,
side,
they never paid
you know?
for it.
They never paid for it, and they are essentially punishing their children. But their excuses is like, well, only 20% of people went to university back in the 70s or 80s or whatever. That's still no excuse to punish the people that do want to go to university now. And also, there's also a lack of alternatives to university. What happened to, you know, like proper vocational courses? What happened to decent kind of,
well, automation, and there's a lot of competition for those jobs anyway.
And fucking Thatcher selling out all of those fucking industries. Yeah.
And apprenticeships, you know, decent apprenticeships, you know. And this is what I loved about the Labour manifesto, is that, you know, they were going to bring like decent apprenticeships back into the fore, you know. So you'd have a, like, yes, you know, they're going to cut fucking university fees like to 0, right? So you, like, doesn't matter what age you are, you can still get an education, because they realize that there's going to be a real strain on the welfare state once a lot of, you know, self-driving cars, self-driving buses, self-driving kind of lorries come in. That's going to be a massive fucking strain on the welfare state. So these people are going to need retraining. So what do? Well, you put education for free, and then people can get retrained. Also, what you need to do is you need to invest in new and green kind of industries and create new apprenticeships, you know, stuff that we don't even have now, new industries. And this is where I suppose, you know, things like skilled kind of immigration works, because we don't have those skills in our country, really. You know, people that went to the school of Elon Musk, for instance, that know how to put together a solar bank and make it work efficiently, you know, and how to set up battery banks. And then they can train other people to do that in apprenticeships, right? And then they can get like tax breaks for this kind of stuff, for training people to go forward, you know. This is
but most of the immigration we get is unskilled, which is going to become useless anyway. So we're going to automate a lot of the jobs, which, you know, a lot of immigrants come here to pick farming, basically. I mean, that's a job that can easily be automated. I would love for more people like Elon Musk to come over.
And this is a lot of where the Labour manifesto actually, it doesn't talk about it specifically, but it alludes to, you know, it's a stepping stone, you know. Bearing in mind it was written in about 2 weeks, but it alludes to, you could see the ideas behind it. I mean, these jobs, they are going to be automated sooner or later. Just like I said, HGV drivers, bus drivers, you know, train drivers. There's been a lot of train strikes recently, right? And it was all about the second person on the train. And,
getting rid of the conductor people.
Yeah. They were talking about getting rid of the safety guy that makes sure people see, you know. Yeah, it's bullshit. I agree with the strikers, and I stand in solidarity, but it's completely back to front in my eyes, because the idea is if you're going to automate any transport, the first thing is going to happen is the trains, because fuck's sake, they run on tracks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
know,
I see what you're
so,
saying, and this is the thing I think about automation, is that we can't go forward into automation without also addressing who owns the means of production and who's going to own
exactly right. Yeah.
How are we going to deal with unemployment and all of these things? And I don't think arguments like universal basic income even come close to addressing the ramifications.
It's a sticking plaster.
Yeah. And my main assertion, it's definitely a stepping stone, and I would advocate for it. But my sort of analysis of the situation is that if we want some kind of hyper sci-fi awesome automated society, then we need to make sure that that technology is in the hands of the people that use it and is operated for the good of society as a whole. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, we're going to have fucking.
I mean, I've just been reading this book called Four Futures by Peter Frazer. I was when I did the Q&A with you, I was halfway through it, and I've just finished it. So it's and he talks about, you know, four futures, and essentially basically the second is how capitalism could actually evolve beyond automation. And he's basically, it's not going to work. Capitalism is not going to work at all, really, because you have like rentiers. Because, you know, if you've got the fucking replicator in your house, and you know, you just go beep, beep, and then you have to charge people for the patterns, and it's just not going to work, you know. So he was like, no. It's not going to happen. So go on.
No, just I was gonna do what's the meme? We've seen the meme that's like a fully automated luxury space communism or something.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, Novara Media.
Yeah, space communism. Yeah,
Novara Media. Definitely.
Of course. That's probably the only way we're gonna have this sort of technological nice sci-fi land.
Yeah, but what the hell would people do then? I mean, if everything's automated, I mean, they're thinking about automating, you know, automating teachers. They could automate doctors. I mean,
no. Certain things there are certain things that cannot be automated, and
really,
yeah, I think so. Like, you cannot automate art, for instance.
I agree with that. I don't think you can automate art, but I think pretty much anything else apart from that you can probably automate. Eventually,
teaching to a certain extent, I think you can. Yeah, but you know, as a teacher, I
know. As a teacher yourself, you wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, I
wouldn't want them automating, you know, fucking medicine. But
this is why, right? Things like this can't happen without a societal change as well. We'd need to look at things like self-directed learning, and we'd have to look at things like, you know, basically we need to be designing a society in which these problems can't really arise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing that I will say is people assume that people are lazy, right? And that if you know, they are given something like a universal basic income, they will sit there and do nothing. And that is, in my eyes, that is absolutely bullshit. Right?
It is, man.
If you sat there and you didn't have to worry about, you know, your house or your food or whatever, then it basically means that the mind can just expand, like, completely. Who knows what's possible?
I think it depends on the person.
Go on, man.
I don't know. Even thinking about myself, I mean, if I didn't have to go to university, I didn't have to work, I didn't have to, you know, do anything, I don't know. Maybe I would just become completely lazy. I think it depends on the person. I mean, I know
you would be lazy probably for about the first week or two, right? Until you started to go stir crazy, and then you'll be like, okay, what do I do now? And then you'll be like, oh, maybe I'll read this book, or maybe I'll you know, start learning Japanese. Maybe I'll do this, or calligraphy, or whatever. And this is the thing, like the mind blows, you know. I have time here. Like I said, I only work 25 hours a week. So what do I do with the other 30 hours? Right?
But,
what do I do?
But people have time already. And what do they spend doing? Watching TV, you know, just a lot of stuff which
but it's stressful, isn't it? What you're talking about is a lot of people are the precariat is what you're talking about. So they are stressed, right? They are stressed out because of they're worried about where the next meal's coming from. They're worried about how they're going to pay for the next bill. They're worried about how precarious their job is, you know, or whether they're going to have a job tomorrow because of contracts.
And then they've got the Sun newspaper telling them to be scared about Muslims.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Russia.
Yeah. Russia now. Fucking Russia.
To trust Labour, even though they're looking out for your best interests. Who can you trust? Oh.
Yeah, the Russian, I'm not agreeing the immigration stuff, but the Russian stuff is fucking pissing me off now. It's like, Russian soup hackers. I mean, Jesus Christ. Russian hacking this, Russian hacking that. Oh, if there's been a recent poll or referendum or election that didn't go the establishment way, it's Russians. It's just, maybe there is some of it, but it's fucking ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah. But this is besides the point. I mean, I have time and I have money, right? And yes, I do sleep quite a lot, but I also study martial arts, you know, and I study politics, and you know, and I study ethics, and I study history. You know, these are the things that I do in my time off. You know? Just because I have a lot of time off doesn't mean I'm lazy. It does mean that I am quite lazy. To be fair, I am lazy compared to your average UK person, right? But then your average UK person is very stressed out.
But then at that point, if everything is automated, you could even automate innovation, and we're left to our own devices.
Yeah,
is there even a point in us being there?
Yes, of course. You should not allow your work to define you. You should define your work. That's the difference in kind of ideas.
And I think at the end of the day, right, there's always going to be work that needs to be done, whether or not we automate most things or whatever. Yeah. This is why I was trying to make a point earlier on about like, you know, a doctor is a doctor because they want to help people and they want to save lives.
Yeah,
I
alluded to this earlier in the side chat. It's a vocation, you know. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a nurse, then generally people want to, because they ain't fucking doing it for the money, are they? Like,
and this is the point,
especially on this country.
If we take away the need to be a wage slave, if we take away wage slavery and give people what they fucking need, everybody will find a place in their life for something that they are passionate about to pursue. You know what I mean? It takes the shackles off of the human fucking spirit. And most of the time, I'm pretty sure that will contribute back into society somewhere. And if we have to take a fucking rota system to clean up the rubbish because the fucking robots that we were supposed to do it have broken down or something, then we take a fucking rota. Do you know what I mean? We take it in turns to do the jobs that people don't want to do. The jobs that people do want to do will get done. The jobs that need to get done, we'll either do it with robots or we'll take it in turns. You know what I mean?
The most likely thing in the really long term is that we ourselves just become robots. And by that I don't mean we get rid of our personalities or get rid of that, but we get the proficiencies and we get the abilities of robots. So, you know, strength or computing speed, we get that ourselves. If you understand what I mean.
No, I completely disagree. Absolutely, 100% disagree. Because why would you need to if you got a computer to do it? You know, it would literally free our minds.
You
know? But what am I saying? Yeah, I mean, you could expand your mind though as well, because our mind is only limited. It's limited by our biology. You could expand your mind.
No. It's not limited by our biology; it's limited by our society.
Oh, definitely as well.
But-
But I mean,
Right.
Yes.
I'm talking about, you can't imagine. I don't know. It's such a way. But there's some things that you can't do because of our biology. You can't
Yeah, sure.
work out calculations like a computer because you don't have the processing speed for it in your
I
mind.
agree. Yeah.
I don't know.
but we've definitely got a small perspective, you know, because of biology and social constructs and stuff. We get a very small and limited perception on life and the universe and dimensions and all that kind of crazy stuff. I like talking about philosophy and physics and shit. It's quite interesting.
I like how you know, technology, philosophy, and futurism will collide. And whether you like it or not, Mantle, whether you like it or not, automation is coming, right? And you,
I never said I didn't like it. I mean,
no, it's coming, right? And so you're looking at massive unemployment. So you can look at it as a kind of a kind of you know, a thing you have to bear, like a cross you have to bear, or you can look at it as, you know, something to aspire to. Marx and Keynes looked at it as something to aspire to, whereas the Luddites thought it as something that should be feared. So are you a Luddite or a Keynesian or a Marxist?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know what half of those are. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Well, Keynes, yeah, you must have
I've
heard
heard
of
of
Keynesian economics,
Keynesian
right?
economics, but I don't. I think I kind of know what it is, but not entirely.
Well, Keynesian economics. Well, what's his name? Maynard Keynes was what, 1920s, 1930s economic genius, actually, and he said that in the 1990s or 2000s that we would be doing, you know, 20-25 hour weeks because we'll be free because of you know, automation. Marx said that basically the same time, but 100 years beforehand, that we'd again be free. We'd have all this leisure due to you know, technology. But the Luddites are the people that destroyed new technology because they wanted to keep their jobs. You know, it's whether.
Well, no, I definitely don't agree with that. I mean,
yeah. So it's whether you let your job define you or you define your job. That's the difference in thinking. I think, anyway. What do you think, Old School?
I think that sounds like the idea of, if you find a job that you love, you'll never work a day in your life type deal.
Yeah, exactly right.
And I just want to see a society in which people don't have to struggle to survive. We don't need that to happen anymore.
No, exactly right. I mean, we have the ability to feed and house every single person on this planet.
Yeah, and from that point onwards, I would like to see a society in which people are free to pursue their passions, free from any kind of coercion, free from any kind of like discrimination, and they should be free to pursue their passions as long as it's not hurting anybody else. And you know, the only way we can get to that point is through, at least in my opinion, some kind of anarchistic, principle-based you know, progression into the future. Obviously there is steps towards that, but and this is why I don't think it's an idealistic thing, because it's just setting us down a path guided by certain principles. Who knows what will happen? Like, everything will take on its own nature due to culture and geography and everything anyway. Do you know what I mean? So who fucking knows what's going to happen?
So Mantle,
Yeah.
here's the thing. When you listen to stuff like this, your first response in the video earlier was to say that this sounds a bit utopianist, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And to be fair, Old School did actually slap you down for saying that and said, no, this isn't utopianist at all. Right. And what I like to say, which Mantle didn't say, but he was alluding to, is what I like to call protopianist. Okay. Utopia is kind of it's kind of a fucking a never-ending goal. You cannot reach utopia, right? But what you can do is, if you're protopianist, right, you can look at year by year. You can say, oh, have we improved over last year? Yes. Okay, cool. We're doing quite well. That's a good way. Okay, let's carry on what we're doing, right? But the situation we are in the UK right now is year on year. Are we better than last year? No, we're a little bit worse. You know, in fact, we've been doing that for the last 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so this is the problem that we're doing. You know, do you understand this, Mantle?
I understand what you're getting at. I don't. We're definitely going down year on year, but I think people can definitely say that's due to multiple different things.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But what we laid out and where we're heading, you cannot argue about. You know, the way technology is heading, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with automation is going to be. It's coming. There's no way to avoid it.
Okay, so do you want us to be getting better as a society, or do you want us to get worse? I mean, this is a stupid fucking question, you know.
Well, my point.
Go on, Mansell. Sorry.
The reason that I called Old School's what Old School was saying utopian was, you talk about automation now, but it is happening at the moment, but it's something that's in the future, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a gradual thing, right? Okay, so you go to Tesco's, right, and now you don't actually get the beep beep woman, beep beep. Now you go and self-service checkout, right? Yeah, and where all the only reason so many jobs haven't been automated is because of the squeeze on wages. Yeah. The moment this squeeze on wages actually releases, yeah, and people start demanding a higher wage, say maybe 10, 12, 15 pounds an hour, yeah, you would see how quickly automation will go across the board, right?
Okay, I'm following.
At the moment, we have, due to austerity, we have cheap labor and the precariat. If we had, workers' rights, fucking decent holiday pay, all these things, they'll be like, well, fuck you, I might as well automate, it's cheaper. Yeah, and they will do, because, how many people are employed in bullshit jobs that could be automated right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, loads of people. I mean, there's
lots of people.
Yes, loads of people. And how does capitalism cope with that amount of unemployment? It can't.
By making new jobs.
Like what?
Well, we don't know yet. I mean, it's the same thing that happened in the Industrial Revolution.
Here's the crux, I'm afraid.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Go on.
Yeah, the point is, a lot of the shittest jobs that are going are all of the jobs that are in the third world countries, like, making really, like, all the clothes and stuff for big capitalist corporations. They rely on very cheap, very shit labor from the third world. If we were to eliminate all that, they would lose their biggest source of income, and you would also have massive unemployment. So they're not about to do that shit. You know what I mean? They're never going to really solve the problems of poverty, of shit working conditions. They're never going to do that because it's not in their interests to do so. So the only other fucking way forward is to make the capitalist economic system irrelevant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Whether you like it or not, Mantle, within the next, I would say, 5 to 10 years, capitalism will become irrelevant, right?
You think that soon?
That soon. I reckon that soon, right? And it's down to how we actually deal with it, right? Now, again, whether you like it or not, Marx will be involved, okay? Marx's theory and his theory on how to get around this situation will be involved, right? Whether you like it or not, mate. You may call us like Marxist, Trotskyites, or revolutionaries, or whatever, mate. But mark my fucking words, mate. I'm telling you now.
It's gonna. You're right, man. And whichever way it goes, you know, this is why I think it's important for us now to be organizing against specifically, not you, Metal, but I mean, part of why I do this is to, you know, talk about why I disagree with right-wing views, essentially, and nationalism and all that shit. But it's important for us to be building the foundations of a resistance to the groups and influences which will turn that situation against us, like, you know, current capitalists and the far right. And
but this is going on the assumption that there's going to be this great collapse. I've heard communist friends always talking about it. It's just it's coming in the next 10 years, it's coming in the next 15 years. I don't see that. I see, yes, there's going to be a hell of a lot of automation, but there's going to be a hell of a lot of new jobs, just like there were new jobs coming from the Industrial Revolution, just like the new jobs coming all the time. There'll be different jobs to accommodate.
Okay, granted. Okay. Let me give you an example. So in the 1980s, okay, Margaret Thatcher, whether you like her or not, what she did modernize Britain in a number of ways, okay?
Yeah.
But what she also did was she devastated basically the entire Midlands, because of she left a lot of people without jobs just because of in modernizing Britain, yeah, she left a lot of people without jobs. This is the kind of situation that I'm talking about. Yes, there will be new jobs created. So, for instance, Cameron Hickman is saying there will be jobs maintaining the robots, so people doing robotics and stuff like that. And, you know, there will be jobs maintaining, say, you know, solar farms and stuff. Yes, there will be new jobs created, but it'll be 1 in 10. For every 10 jobs lost, there'll be 1 job created.
Mm-hmm.
Are you with
I don't know if I agree with that ratio.
Just bear in mind, like I said,
yeah,
the vast majority of the profit that currently is running the global economy comes from jobs in the third world countries. Whether you want to look at it like, oh well, Apple are an American country, but where do their phones get manufactured? Yeah, so this is the problem: is that once we've automated all of the shit jobs, like working in the sweatshops or, you know, doing laboring in farms or mining and all of this shit, yeah, there's going to be new jobs created, but that is a massive gap there left in the labor market, similar to how the abolishment of slavery left a massive gap in the labor market.
And similar how the Industrial Revolution obviously left a massive gap.
Well, exactly.
But there will be winners and losers. That's just life. But it's going to progress.
Why should there be losers? Why should there be losers? We have the ability for there not to be losers. This is, I think, this is half the crutch, half of the crutch of the issue. Why should there be losers in this situation? We have the ability now. We have the technology, and we have the you know, the will really to say, hang on, there shouldn't be any losers. Really? Isn't that right, old school?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think just due to like general, like, you know, the general vibe of the universe, there's always going to be people who are more unlucky, or, you know, somebody, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I think, you know, philosophically, I guess I can kind of see. I don't think they should have to be. I just understand that, like, you know, life and death are part of the same thing.
I don't like that.
Essentially, what I'm getting at though is that we shouldn't have systems specifically set up to take advantage of the fact that some people are gonna have more than others. You know what I mean? These institutions are there for a reason.
Sorry, can you hear that?
Hear what?
Oh, fuck me.
No.
Oh, my nephew's calling me.
Oh, yeah, you can check it.
Shall I send him a link? Shall I send him a link?
Do it, man, if you want. Yeah.
All right. Hang on. Where's all right, hang on. Let me where's I've just lost it. Here we go. All right. I'll it's no. Please be nice. He's really cute. His name's Charlie. Okay. He's only 11 years old, so I know. He's just trying to.
Does he know much about politics?
Not at all.
I doubt it. At 11.
Yeah. At 11 years old. Yeah.
My sister knew about politics at 11, but that's probably my fault, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. But Mantle, do you understand? Like,
I understand where you're getting at. The thing that I'm saying is this has been happening throughout history, and I think it's just going to continue the same way it's happened. I don't think that we should have stopped when Margaret Thatcher said, when she was modernising Britain, said, no, we need to stop that because there were too many people losing jobs, there's too much unemployment. Because yes, there are losers, and that is terrible. It's fucking terrible for those people who are losers. But overall, it is a general good.
Oh yeah, of course. You know, the movement of technology. Like I said, we are not Luddites. You know, you can either embrace it or you can destroy it, like the Luddites did back in the you know, at the end of the 19th century. But what I'm saying is, like I said, the jobs creation to jobs created ratio will be very, very low. And if you look at especially the people that are in skilled positions, that will essentially become irrelevant. Like I tell you what scares the shit out of me, right? Is I've got this app on my phone, and it's called let me see what it's called. It's called Papago or something. Papago. Okay. It's called Papago, right? Check this out, right? Let me see if you can hear this, right? 안녕하세요. 잘 지냈어요?
나는 알아요.
It doesn't really work. Hang on.
Is it like a babelfish?
Well, it's a translation app, right?
Yeah,
generally it's really good. It's just I'm a little bit drunk, so it doesn't really.
Yeah, but it's a translation.
It's scary good, right? Okay, and if you apply Moore's law to this app over the next five years, then essentially my job. Oh God, he's calling me again. No. Hang on, let me just talk to him.
That's all right, bro.
That's one, yeah.
You right, Charlie? What's up? I'm at home. What are you doing? Hello, Chloe. I'm talking to some friends. I sent you a link. So you can talk to us too. Yeah, but is it not working? Oh no, it's a link. You know, click it, and then you'll be able to talk to my friends too.
The wonders of the internet.
All right, Charlie. So click it, and then. All right. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna hang up here then, and see me on the Google thing. Okay. Cool. Okay. Now this is gonna be interesting.
So how old are they? 11 and
15. It's Chloe's close 15.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah. But yeah, he did you see him? He's cute as fuck, man. He's like the cutest little boy ever. Old school. Remember I was telling you about my sister earlier?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's her son that she left behind.
Oh man.
Oh. One of them anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about that with Mantle here. So
that's all right,
yeah,
no. Personal stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that. Yes, I do agree that there will be new jobs created. I mean, of course, but it is, like I say, I reckon the ratio will be for every 10 jobs destroyed, there will be 1 job created. I mean, there are still factories around the world that can attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's true. I think it's just a matter of fact. And if we can take that as a given, then we can extrapolate what's going to happen in the future. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, these people are going to need something to do, and they're going to need a source of sustenance and life. Do you know what I mean? And the capitalist economic model cannot provide that for millions of jobless. And you know, it's just not possible, man. It's not built in the economics.
Hang on a minute. Sorry. What's up, Charlie? What's up? Yeah. Well, just say okay.
It's good that they're asking about that because they're not just clicking accept.
Yeah, I thought they would ask about that.
I don't know what you can see, so I don't know.
When you go into a Hangout, it says tick to approve.
Oh yeah, you need to click the box to approve it.
Yeah,
exactly. And then you should be straight in.
You need to sell your soul to Google, and then you can join.
Yeah.
Did you click the box, Charlie? What box? Do you want me to send it to you again? I'll send you a new link, Charlie, okay? And then try again. Click the box and then click OK, okay? Okay? Okay. Just say okay. 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 Fucking hell, mate. Really? Anyway, I'm gonna end this stream now. So thank you to Old School. Thank you to Mantle for being here.
No worries, man.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for the wind down. I'm much more relaxed now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Were you stressed after it, or
not stressed,
what's wrong?
Man, but when you talk about stuff for a long time, you know, it takes it out of you a bit.
Yeah,
and
I guess because I can only spend so long on a day thinking about political stuff, or else you just, I don't know. There was a quote from someone that I can't remember how it went, but it's basically if people spend too long in the day thinking about stuff that they really have little effect over, it leads to depression.
Yeah,
it can lead to depression.
Yeah, that's why we need to take back control, lads. Take back control. We have the power.
Mantle, like I'm telling you, mate, in the next month or two, you will literally be a left winger. I'm telling you, we're almost there, aren't we? Like Old School.
Yeah, we are, man. We are.
Hmm.
The seeds have been planted.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see how they grow.
Those seeds. Anyway, thank you so much to Shafted. Thank you to Cameron Hickman. Thanks to everybody that's joined us on the stream tonight. Yes, it's been a crazy night of streaming this evening. Old school, go and check out that Who's Guess Who video that we posted.
Yeah, I will, man.
Because you've got to be involved next time.
I will.
And
I will.
Swiss said he's going to take the mantle of doing choosing 5 pictures and five things. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. And this is us signing out.
Bye.